Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg here from the Kindergarten Smorgasbord, and it's time for another Submissions for Smorgie Live. So thanks to everybody who's joining us tonight. We know it's a busy time right before Thanksgiving, and so we're thankful that y'all are taking some time to hang out with us and enjoy the show tonight. We're live here in our living room. We're all decked out for the holidays because we have family coming tomorrow for Thanksgiving, so we got all the decorations up. And honestly, when we took down all the Halloween stuff, the house was kind of empty because we hadn't decorated with anything but Halloween and fall stuff. So we had to put up Christmas decorations to fill up the new house. So we're going to get started. We'll do a couple of housekeeping things, and then we'll jump right into all of your questions. So tonight we are sponsored by our friends at ESGI, and they're giving away two one-year licenses. So you can enter to win one of two one-year licenses to ESGI, and that's, of course, a $200 value. And don't forget to use the code SMORGIE when you sign up for ESGI to get your 60-day free trial and save $40 off of your subscription. Also tonight, we're sponsored by my friend Dana at Vinyl by Dana, and Dana's sitting right over there. She's waving. She waved at everybody. And so Dana is giving away two t-shirts, and they're custom made by Dana, and so you can check her out on Instagram and Facebook at Vinyl by Dana. You always see me wearing my fun teacher shirts, and you always want to know where I get them, and most of them come from Dana. And so when I see a teacher shirt that I like, or we have an idea for a shirt, I say, Dana, I need this shirt, and Dana makes the shirts. And so I'm wearing one of hers now, and this is one, I think we're giving this one away tonight, right? And so this is one of my favorites that Dana has made. So if you know the movie Elf, you know where this comes from. And so you can actually, if you don't win tonight, you can order this shirt from Dana, and you can email her, or you can go to Facebook or Instagram, Vinyl by Dana, and find her. And you can order one of these t-shirts for $25. And they come in 5 colors, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Hey everybody, it's the Mister. I'm off camera tonight. There's not enough room to be near the beautiful tree and fireplace and beautiful setting that we have here tonight. So I'm over here on the couch with Dana, just hanging out. Just want to repeat really quick so that everyone knows. To be eligible for tonight's prizes, you must be in the chat. The way you know you're in the chat is if you type something and it shows up and you can see it in there, then you are in the chat. And so that makes you eligible, but you still have to enter. The way that you enter is through our website, kindergartensmorgasbord.com. Just go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com, click on the very first blog post, which you'll see, and it is called Submissions for Smorgie Live, November edition. Once you click on that, it will take you into the blog post, and you'll see right there how to enter. You're just going to enter your email address. You only have to enter it one time, and you're automatically entered for all of tonight's drawings. So again, you're going to go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com, click on the first blog post, enter your email address and the link provided, and you are entered. But then you've got to make sure that you watch tonight, because if we call your name, you have to type back to us in the chat that you're here. Otherwise, we move on to another thing. So let's get the questions going. I'm ready. Everyone's loving the fireplace so far.
It's nice and warm. I'm toasty.
Miss Phipps says she can't see. Maybe refresh. That usually does the trick. Carmen says that she needs help with sight word recognition. She has lots of kindergartners that have came in with no pre-K background, and they're a very busy bunch.
So we use, we call it Sight Word 60, and it's something we came up with a few years ago. You can go on the blog and really get all of the details and the nitty-gritty of how it works. But I'll give you a quick rundown. It's called Sight Word 60 because over the course of a week, they're going to get, your kids will get 60 exposures or more to each of the sight words. So we do 4 words a week. So my kids get 60 plus exposures to those 4 words over the course of the week. Monday, we introduce the words, we read the words, spell the words, and I use the word in a sentence, and the kids repeat the sentence. Tuesday and Wednesday, we review the words quickly, and then the kids use the words in a sentence. Thursday, we do a sight word grid, and you can get those on the website at the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. You can click on Resource Center, And there's a link to download the sight word grids. Those are also editable, so you can make your own grids. And then Friday, we play a game with the words, and we add the words to the word wall. So it's very quick. It's just a few minutes a day. But over the course of the week, like I said, they get 60 plus exposures to the words. So brain research says we need about 21 exposures to learn something, to put it into long-term memory, and be able to recall that information. So sight word 60 triples that that number, so they get all those exposures. By the end of the year, 95% of my kids will master all 100 sight words, and a lot of them will know even more sight words. So again, you can go to the blog, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com, and you can type in sight word 60. It'll pull up a detailed post with videos of each of those days. And we also, in our store, we have a sight word games bundle. That's a great way to practice and reinforce the sight words as well.
Got a question from Liberty. She says that she has an ESE inclusion classroom. Usually her kids are close enough ability-wise to do center tones. This year I have one student who is still at 9 letters no. Would you do centers just for them?
Absolutely. And I talk about this when I talk about centers at conferences and when I'm working with schools and districts, is that, remember, it's our job to meet the kids where they are. And so there are always going to be exceptions to our groups. And so we may have kids, you know, super high who don't necessarily fit into our nice, neat 4 or 5 groups. And just like you have one who doesn't fit into those nice, neat groups as well. So I'd absolutely have some centers just for that student to work on, because you want to meet him at his or her at her level so that they're getting what they need, but they're also not getting frustrated or discouraged, which will lead them to give up or could lead to behavior issues. So absolutely have some center activities that are meeting the needs of that child.
So going back to the sight words question, Shayna says that she has some students that struggle with sight words. What are some ways to encourage them?
So we talk a lot about why we need to know our sight words. And so if you watch any of the videos where I'm working, especially during our morning literacy routine with the kids on sight words, I ask my kids, number one, where do we see sight words? And they'll say everywhere. And you'll hear them. I'll pull out a book to read, and they're like, oh, sight word, oh, sight word. Or in the hallway, they'll say, oh, sight word. So that gets them excited because they know they can find them everywhere. We also talk about we need to know our sight words so we can read and write. And we do a lot of talking about we want to be good readers, we want to be good writers, and one way we do that is by learning our sight words. And we also talk about how if we know our sight words, what can we read? And we can read everything because everything we read is made up of sight words. And so that really gets them excited about sight words, helps them understand why they need to learn their sight words. And it just kind of ups that engagement for them. So that's a good way to do it. And when I mentioned during the sight word 60 that we do on Friday, we add the words to the word wall. One of the things we do when we add the words to the word wall is we make a celebration. And so we play our music and we celebrate that we've learned 4 new words that week, because that's a big deal for us. That's 4 words that we can read and write, and they're going to help us be better readers and writers. And so it gets the kids excited that they now have 4 new words, and we've added the words to our word wall, and we turned it into a little bit of a sight word party on Friday.
This one's from Ms. Phipps. Do you teach academic vocabulary? If so, in what subjects?
Yes, and that's something that our school is working on a lot right now. So we do academic vocabulary in all the subjects, so ELA, science, math, and social studies. So for example, if you watch a couple of the videos we posted recently of us doing our mad science experiments on Thursday, you'll hear the kids talking about making a hypothesis, conducting an experiment, talking about the outcome or the conclusion. So we're always trying to incorporate that vocabulary into all areas that we're working on.
This question is from Lena. Do you do math centers every day? Do you do whole group instruction for math at any time?
We do whole group instruction and centers. We don't necessarily do whole group instruction in math every day. It might be a couple days during the week, it might be whole group. The rest of the week will be small group and centers. The reason I do it like that is because not everybody, or is going to need a whole group lesson on whatever skill we're working on that week. And so if, let's say we're working on addition to 5. So we've taught it for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. And so the kids are doing a pretty good job with it. So there are going to be some kids who get it, and there are going to be some who need a little extra practice. So if I do a whole group lesson, the kids who get it are going to be bored. And so probably will be disruptive or, wiggly or just completely out of control. And the kids who aren't getting it or who need extra help still aren't going to get it. So there's no point in doing 5 days of whole group instruction. So we would do a couple days of whole group instruction. The rest of the week would be small groups, and the kids are working in centers. And so if you come into my classroom on any given day, you might see whole group math, you might not. And that's just, again, to be flexible so that I can meet the kids where they are, and keep them challenged and keep them from becoming behavior issues.
This question is from Nicole. She wants to know if you have suggestions on how to help with letter identification and sounds for struggling kinder learners.
Oh, we have a perfect solution. It's called ABC Boot Camp. So we do ABC Boot Camp. We do it at the beginning of the year, but you could absolutely start it when we go back on Monday. So it's designed to be a 26-day introduction to letters and sounds. It's research-based, classroom proven. It's a very intense focus on the letters and sounds, which is really the key as to why it works so well. But it involves circle maps and silly hats and handwriting and centers. So you can go on to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com and click on the Resource Center, and you'll see ABC Boot Camp. You can click there and get all of the details about ABC Boot Camp, lots of videos, see what's included, see how it works. But at the end of ABC Boot Camp, so after 26 days, about 85 and 95% of my kids have mastered all letters and sounds. And that's consistent data from across the country. Schools of all demographics will have that same data and those same results with ABC Boot Camp. So that would be my suggestion, is that you look into that and start it when you go back. And I think you'll be amazed at the growth and the progress.
And speaking of the TKS Boot Camp curriculum, I have a very special surprise for you guys tonight. We are giving...
Are you dressed as Santa? Are you bringing us a gift?
No, I wish. Actually, I have a pretty cool suit that I could have worn. Bought it at Macy's. No, Target the other day, right?
Target, yeah.
Anyway, my surprise is this. Everyone that's watching us tonight can save 40% off every product in the TKS online store. That's 40% off. So the TKS Bootcamp curriculum is already discounted at 50%, right? Normally $125 if you were to buy them all separately. If you buy it right now, it's $62.50. If you use the code early BFS 2017, best way to remember that is early Black Friday sale 2017. That's early BFS 2017. If you use that code at checkout, you get an additional 40% off. That is a phenomenal savings on the bootcamp curriculum. It's going to be going back to its regular price at the end of the year. So that 50% off that's there now, that's going away at the end of the year. But this is not just for the bootcamp curriculum. This is for every single product in the TKS store. So write down this code. It's early, EARLY, BFS 2017. Go shop at the TKSstore.com. And when you get to checkout, enter that code, and it will take 40% off your entire purchase. That's good through Friday night at midnight. So that's just a happy Thanksgiving from the Kindergarten Smorgasbord to you. And that is not available on Teachers Pay Teachers. It's only in our TKS online store, which is just like Teachers Pay Teachers, except you're buying from us. So, ta-da! Surprise!
Surprise!
Happy Thanksgiving.
Almost as good as if Oprah were to come out and give everybody a car.
I could have done it like Oprah.
You should have.
You say 40%. You say 40%. You say 40%. Everybody.
What were we doing the other night? You're doing your Oprah. You were so excited about something.
I forgot. I don't know. Who knows? All right, so let's get back to the questions.
So don't forget to head over to the blog, the kindergartensmorgasbord.com, to get entered for tonight's giveaways. You can win one of 2 one-year licenses for ESGI. which is a $200 value. You could also enter to win one of 2 t-shirts from Vinyl by Dana. So check those out, and you can check Dana out at Vinyl by Dana on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, sorry. This question is from Sarah. Any new and exciting morning meeting songs you've tried out?
I don't change up the songs we do during our morning a lot. We just started a sight word song from Harry Kindergarten, so that's new. But so those pretty much stay consistent throughout the whole year.
How about some fun greetings?
We just did last week, and you can see it on our Facebook page. We did the brown bear greeting, and so it was so it would start off, and we'd say we start with Brandon, and we'd say, Brandon, who do you see? And Brandon would say, I see George looking at me. And then we would say, George, who do you see? So we just did that one. That's the only new one we've done so far. But I'm always on the lookout, always trying to come up with new fun greetings to do and new things to try.
Speaking of the ABC Bootcamp you were talking about just a second ago, Carolyn had asked the question, and she has a follow-up. She said she teaches 2 half-day sessions, 2.5-hour sessions. Do you think ABC Bootcamp would still work? It's hard to fit everything in.
Yeah, I would just break it down into, so instead of doing a letter a day, I would do a letter every 2 days. So maybe on day 1, you did the circle map and the handwriting, and then on day 2, you could do the silly hat. So you could do it that way. So just instead of 1 day, you would break it down into 2 days.
This question is from Ellen. Do you give your students...
Ellen, like the Ellen?
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, Ellen.
Do you give your students homework? And if so, what does it entail?
My kids have 3 things to do for homework. Practice their sight words, read, and play. And that's the homework that I give them. I think we work them incredibly hard in the classroom, and so they need to go home and be 5. So they practice their sight words, they read, and they play. And that's what we do for homework.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on questions. This is from Miss Mara. Hey, Mr. Greg, how do you address struggling writers? I have a few who are behind with writing.
Writing is hard for our kids. It can be intimidating. Fine motor issues can come into play. So just lots of encouragement, lots of modeling, lots of one-on-one conferencing with them, and just celebrate everything that they're doing. And just remember that some kids may not be writing yet, and that's okay. They'll get there. So don't try to push them too hard, because you'll discourage them and they'll be frustrated, and we don't want that. So again, lots of modeling, lots of support. Maybe try some sentence frames, some writing prompts. Writing Through the Year by Dee Wells and Deanna Jump is a great writing curriculum that we use in our classroom. So definitely check that out. But just start small, work on just simple sentences. Start with a picture, have them draw a picture, and then start to add words, and just kind of build on each success, and encourage them, and lots of modeling. But writing is hard for our kids, but they can do it. It's just sometimes we have to just give them lots and lots of support when we're writing.
This question is from Jennifer. She said, when do you add the recording sheets for centers? Do you do that daily or when you pull them?
When I pull them. So like today we went in and we changed out all of our centers. And so all of the centers have recording sheets already in there. So it'll be, people always ask me, well, how many recording sheets do you make? It really kind of varies. So I'm kind of trying to predict which of the centers is going to be popular. So I kind of gauge, like, I'll know, especially if it's something we've used in the past, I'll know that was a very popular center. So I'll know to put more recording sheets in there. But they're already in there. So when they pull those tubs out on Monday, or the math baskets, the recording sheets are already in there. So there'll be anywhere from 5 to 15 copies of the recording sheets in there. And so that it stays pretty stocked. I got lots of questions today about paper. When we did the Facebook Live, there are lots of comments and questions about paper. I never go over my limit, but of course I don't make any worksheets. So really the only copies we make are books for guided reading and the recording sheets. So I don't use that many because I never go over my 500 copy limit. But one thing that I do that helps save a lot of paper is I will print a lot of the recording sheets so that they're 2 per page. So I'll just reduce the size. And so they're just half sheets of paper, so that helps. But anywhere from 5 to 15 copies. And then a good way to keep track of that is on the original or on the last copy of the recording sheet in the tub, put a yellow X with a highlighter. And train the kids that if they find that, they need to bring it to you so you know to make more copies of that recording sheet.
Do you check those recording sheets, and if so, when?
I don't. The centers are set up so everything is differentiated so the kids can be about 95% successful without any assistance. So there's a little bit of a challenge, but not enough to where they're going to fail. And so I know that they're getting most of it right. So what they do is when they finish, they just kind of walk by my guided reading table or walk by wherever I am, and they show it to me. I glance at it. I give them a thumbs up. And you can usually tell when you glance at it if they've done a good job. And then also we know our kids, and so we know the kids who, when they walk by, we can give them a thumbs up, and they can go on about their way. And papers go in their cubby, and they go home. We also know the kids who, when they walk by, we're going to be like, come here, and you're going to really check their work. So that's how we do it. I don't collect them. I don't grade them. I don't keep them. I don't have any desire to have that much paper sitting around that would just pile up everywhere. And I don't want that. And so I glance at them and they go home.
Here's a question from Miss S, who's about ready to pull her hair out. She says,
don't do that.
She has an extremely chatty class this year with many behavior issues. What extra special advice would you have for her?
For the extra chatty part, I highly recommend a doorbell. A wireless doorbell can really help with the noise level. And it's, you set the doorbell up, you train them that when the doorbell rings, they stop, they get quiet, they look at you. That's like my #1 tip for classroom management. Everybody loves the doorbell. Also play soft music when they're working independently. And if they can't hear the music, they're too loud. So I'll do that in my classroom a lot, especially if we're getting really chatty, because they want to hear the music. So if they can't hear the music, they know they're too loud. And as for behaviors, and I know this sounds cliche, and I know when I say this, y'all are going to shake your heads, but we have to start with relationships. And I know that we hear that all the time, but I don't think as teachers, I think sometimes we're not intentional about that the way we need to be. And so, find ways to build those relationships. Morning meeting is a great way to do that if you're not doing morning meeting. Eat lunch with your kids at least once a week. Sit down in the cafeteria with them and eat with them and just hang out and do what we do as adults. We all go out and what do? We eat and we hang out, and that's how we build friendships and relationships, sitting around a table eating. So do that with your kids and build those relationships. Make sure you've got your procedures down and make sure you're consistent with those procedures. If you've set a procedure or a routine and they're not doing it, or they're not doing it like they're supposed to do, stop and fix it. Don't overlook it, even if it's minor, because if you overlook that minor one, then the next time it gets a little worse, and it gets a little worse, and it just kind of builds. So if we're not following a routine or a procedure, we stop, we discuss it, we fix it, and then we can go on. But don't let them start to train themselves to do things not wrong, but not in the way that we taught them. So really hone in on those procedures and be positive and acknowledge positive behaviors. Even if it's little things, but really start to focus on those positives and start to call them out and acknowledge them and let the kids know that you're going to get attention for doing the right thing. So I hope that helps. Morning meeting and eating lunch with your kids can make a world of difference when it comes to behavior issues.
This question's from Chad, male kindergarten teacher. Hey, Chad.
Hi, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
Can you share some of your students' favorite products you have in your store that are perfect for Christmas and or winter?
Oh, gosh.
Surfing Santa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Surfing Santa, you have to have. It's a sight word game. So it's Santa wearing a Hawaiian shirt and has a sight word on him. And then there are surfboards with the sight words. And so the kids actually put Santa on the surfboard to practice their sight words. And I actually put a Hawaiian shirt in the center so that the kids can wear a Hawaiian shirt while they're doing Surfing Santa. So that's a good one. I shared some pictures today of gingerbread superheroes. Of course, the kids love superheroes. They love gingerbread men. So that's a good one. We have a Santa Center. Of course, the kids absolutely love that one because it's all things Santa. And my personal favorite that we're going to start is Holidays Around the World. And that's a new one that we started 2 years ago. And every year I'm amazed at how the kids get into that and how much they learn about each country and traditions and culture. Lots of social studies standards, some writing standards, research standards. You're covering geography. You're learning about languages and cultures and food. We actually, every Friday during Holidays Around the World, we eat foods from all different countries. So super excited that the first week we go back, we have Mexico. So that Friday we have homemade tamales. And we always do a piñata on Mexico. And because I have amazing parents this year, they are actually making an authentic Mexican piñata. Like, I saw a picture of them with the balloon and the paper mache. They are hard at work on it.
Wow.
And apparently, and I didn't know this, the mom was telling me, the traditional piñatas have like 7 cones that come out of them. And each of those cones has a meaning. And so that's what our piñata is going to be when we go back. And so just every year we learn more and more about all these different countries, and the kids get plane tickets every day for the countries. We put the flags up in the classroom. So that has really become, I think, my favorite unit that we do all year, because just how much we're learning, the kids are engaged. It really keeps them engaged right up until Christmas break, which we know that's hard to do. So that's my favorite. And then some of those others I shared, the kids love those.
So someone was asking about ESGI. Ben, how do you use ESGI for oral counting?
So I do a couple of ways. Of course, rote counting. So we do it for counting to 100, for example. And so I've created the test on ESGI for counting to 100, but it's done in sequences of 10. So I'll set them down and I'll say, okay, count to 100. And I'm just clicking through 1, 2, 3. So I literally do 100 clicks as they're going through. And so I'll know exactly what they were able to count to if we did. That's for rote counting, of course. And then if we want to do like counting objects and do oral counting that way, I'll just put a bunch of manipulatives or a bunch of counters on the table. I'll show them a number on ESGI, so 7, and they have to count out 7 manipulatives. And then we also have a test that I've made where they're counting 10 frames on ESGI. So those are the ways that we do the oral counting with ESGI.
And don't forget, if you want to sign up for ESGI, you can use the code Smorgie and get a 60-day free trial and save $40 when you make your purchase. And if you're like everyone else, after you have your 60 days, you're going to want to buy it. So save your $40 by using the code Smorgie. That's SMORGIE. Smorgie.
It's my #1 must-have classroom tool. I can't imagine not having it. It makes assessment and data collection so easy, so fast, and easy to communicate to parents. Parents totally get it. You get to send them personalized parent letters, personalized flashcards. You can look at the history. My kids love it. I think that's huge, is that the kids like it. They enjoy it. They want to be tested. They ask for their turn. So we had data chats the past few days with our kids. And so you can pull up ESGI. You can look at all their pie graphs. The kids really like the history feature of ESGI because it shows their growth line. And so they can see how much they've gone up and how they've grown. So it's a win-win for the teacher, the kids, the families. It's fantastic.
And you want to remind everyone about the giveaway?
Yes. So tonight we're giving away 2 one-year licenses to ESGI. So 2 lucky people are going to win a 1-year subscription to ESGI. That's a $200 value. And we're also giving away 2 t-shirts from my friend Dana, who's sitting over here next to the Mister. And you can find her on Instagram and Facebook. It's Vinyl by Dana. So she makes custom t-shirts, and so I'm wearing one now. One of my favorites that she made. You made these for all of us last year, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, so all of our tribe, we have these. We all wear them on the same day every year. So this one. And you can, somebody's going to win this one tonight, but not this one that I'm wearing. You can't have mine.
Might be popular.
And so, and if you don't win and you want to order one, they're $25, and you can contact Dana through Facebook or Instagram and order your own. And she does all kinds of custom T-shirts, tractor decals. She's now making tractor decals. So if you need a decal for your tractor, Dana can take care of that as well. So reach out to Dana for all of your T-shirts and your tractor decals.
And you have 15 minutes left to enter for tonight's giveaway.
So you go to the blog, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com, click on the first post, and enter using the raffle copter. You're going to put in your name and your email. Just enter once, and you're automatically entered for all of the prizes.
When he says raffle copter, it's just there's just a link there. You just click the link. It says enter here for tonight's giveaway. It doesn't say raffle copter. It's just a link there. You just click on that, and that's how you're going to enter. So you don't have to look for the word raffle copter.
So just click on the link that says enter here.
Yes. Xavier's here. Hi,
hey, Xavier. I'm glad he remembered. He came in my room yesterday and said, do you still go live? So I told him. So I'm glad he made it.
Kara's here. She says hi, Dana. She's the one to talk to you earlier today.
Oh, yeah, she's going to win.
She said
I'm winning.
Let's see. All right, so let's get back to these questions here. We've got several that have built up on us. From Brittany, do you teach guided reading groups?
Yes. So we teach guided reading. We follow the Fountas and Pinnell model. And while all the kids are in centers is when I'm doing my guided reading. And so I just call the kids up when I need their group, and then they leave their centers on the floor, and when we're done with guided reading, they go right back to their centers.
Next question is from Devontae. How do you feel about developmental transitional kindergarten? I've been asked about potentially teaching that next year for our little friends that need more developmental time before the rigor of K.
I think it's fantastic. I think, isn't that what Tracy taught? I think a friend of ours taught it. I've heard it called TK, transitional kindergarten as well. I think it's fantastic. I think if they're not ready for kindergarten, another year to get ready, I think is phenomenal. I think we're just setting them up to succeed, and I'm all for it. But I know a lot of times they'll also do it on the other side of kindergarten. They'll do it before they go to first grade as well, which I think is phenomenal also. I say go for it.
From Janelle, what are your favorite informational texts?
I guess it kind of depends on what we're doing. Gosh, it's hard to think off the top of my head. Of course, we're getting ready to holidays around the world, so I've got all those books out. It's hard to think about informational texts because we read so many of them when we're doing our research projects. There's a series on Amazon that I use a lot called Pebble books. Those are great informational texts. They don't always have them for every, mostly animals is what we use them for. But those are really good ones for animals. They're very kid-friendly, but they use a lot of vocabulary that the kids need to learn, but it's done in a very kid-friendly way. I can't think of any specific titles. Pebble Books on Amazon is a good one. And if you go on the blog and you look at the blog posts for a lot of the research projects, you'll see some book recommendations. And if you purchase any of the research projects from us, a lot of them will have book list included as well.
Speaking of a research project, Kelly said that she bought Reindeer Research.
Yes.
She wants to know if you do this over the course of 1 week or would longer be okay.
Oh, I usually do my research projects for 2 weeks. Sometimes we'll squeeze one in for a week. I think last time we did reindeers, I think we squeezed it into a week, but they're totally designed to go a week to 2 weeks. So you can definitely do 2 weeks.
From Miss Cole. Greg,
hi, Betty.
How do you have the energy to do all the things? I've got 25 students and I'm exhausted at the end of the day.
Good question. I think one thing I feed off the energy of my kids, and so that helps. And I always say this, but I have to say a lot of it is because of the mister. And so he takes care of so much of this stuff behind the scenes and at home and all of that stuff. So like I don't have to worry about that. You know, I don't have to go to the store and buy stuff for Foodie Fun Friday or for science because he does it. You know, I don't have to worry about, you know, if the classroom is messy, I know he can come in and clean it. He comes in and works with the kids. So that helps, having somebody helping and supporting and doing all of that. But I love it. I love teaching, and I love doing this, and I love getting to go and travel and talk to teachers and share that passion. And I love sitting down and creating things. It's very relaxing for me. Just today, Jason went out and relaxed while I was gone. And I said, yeah, I said I worked on a couple of things. And he came and gave me that look. But that's how I relax. Like it's my hobby. And so I love doing it. And I love all things teaching, and I love sharing that passion, and I love helping you guys. And so it keeps me going, and y'all keep me going. And so that's how I do it. And then sometimes I sleep, you know, for 12 hours. That's how. And I don't drink coffee either, so there's no coffee involved.
From Renee, now you addressed this a little bit earlier. You talked about sight word 60. And so just to make sure that we answer her question, what's your way that you teach sight words? She said we have sight word songs on DVD, but do you have any other ideas? And I know you touched on it just a little bit earlier, but if you can touch on it again.
And I think the sight word songs are great. We do one every morning. But we have to remember, we have to teach our sight words explicitly and then use the games and the songs as a review, as a practice. So we do sight word 60. So it's 60 plus exposures to the words each week. And so it takes just a few minutes a day. So, but it's very effective because there's so much repetition built in. So Monday, read the word, spell the word, and use the word in a sentence, and the kids repeat the sentence. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, we review the words, and the kids use the word in a sentence. So those are the hardest days because the kids have to come up with sentences. And then Thursday, we do a grid. So it's a little 4x4 grid. The words are on there 4 times, and we color the grid, and that goes home on Thursday to practice. And Friday, we review the words, we play a game with the words, and we add the words to the word wall. So that's how we do it. So lots of explicit teaching, lots of different strategies and modalities. So kinesthetic, we're visual, oral, they're getting up and they're moving, lots of tactile learning. And then, so that's how we do it. And then every 3 weeks, so 3 weeks of new words, and then week 4 is a review week. So we review all the words that we've learned. But you can go to the website, the kindergartensmorgasbord.com, and type in sight word 60, and you'll find a detailed blog post for each day of sight word 60 with a video. So you can see how it works, how quick it is. You can also get the sight word grids as well.
How do your low kids handle sight word 60?
They do great. I tested the kids last week, and we're at, of all the words we've learned so far, we're at 65% mastery. And again, it's that repetition. So they're constant. I mean, every day we're hitting those words. And the brain research, tells us we need at least 21 exposures to learn something, and they're getting 60 plus exposures. And then they're going to see them in centers, and we're singing them every morning. And so right now we're running at about 65% mastery.
This question's from Megan. How do you get students to try a new center? It seems like a lot of the games don't get played. Maybe they just need to do a whole group again. Do you refresh the rules, or what do you do to get them to try new things?
I say, hey, I put something new in your tubs. Go find it. Even if I didn't put something new in there, to them it would totally be new. So that's how I do it. I think this is something that let me just address it this way. The kids feed off of us. And if we're excited about something, they'll be excited about something. And if we have a good attitude about it, they're going to have a good attitude about it. And so I get super excited. And I tell the kids on Monday, hey guys, I put some new centers out. I'm so excited for you to try them. Well, of course, now they're automatically going to go do it because they're excited, because I'm excited, and they want to see what I'm talking about. So, and I'll tell, I'll say, hey, George, you want to do a new center? And I'll show it to him. And I'll say, you should try this one. I don't make him do it. But usually once I point it out, they'll do it. So don't be afraid to be explicit about it and say, oh my God, we have this new center. You should totally try it. And that's how you do it. You get them excited about it by being excited about it. And just be explicit about it. And don't be afraid to point it out and make a big deal about new stuff.
Carolyn says that you mentioned that the parents are helping on the pinata. How often do you incorporate parents? Do they come in your classroom at all?
The door is always open. And so if they wanted to come in every day, they're more than welcome. I think the more we can get families in, the better. This year I have some very, very, very involved parents. So it's very nice. They've been a huge help.
They've helped me a lot. I used to have to go and do Foodie Fun Friday every week, and now they'll get that question every Thursday.
Yeah, like they take care of Foodie Fun Friday. They came in yesterday for our feast, and when it was over, we started to clean up, and they said, no, we're going to clean up. And so this year, I'm very lucky. Last year, I did something, and I'll do it again this year. It was one of the most successful things I've done with families, and it required zero work on my part. There's a blog post about it. It's called Bring Your Family to School Day. So what I did was I sent home a note, and it said, on Thursday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., you're welcome to come into the classroom and spend an hour working with your child in their centers. And so the parents came in for an hour, and their kids got to teach them how to do the centers, and they got to work with mom, dad, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas on their centers. I think we had, last year I had 18 kids. I think 12 families showed up of 18. And this was a last minute, like I sent the note home like 3 days before, and it was phenomenal. Required nothing on my part except just to be there. The kids absolutely loved it. Later, the parents told me how much they loved it. So just try something just simple like that to get the parents to come in. I'm going to try to do it in December, and I'll probably do it again in the spring. Even talk to the principal about doing it monthly, just to keep that connection and keep that excitement going. So, yeah.
This question is from Sandra. Do you teach the printing of the letter along with teaching boot camp? If not, how do you introduce the formation of the letter?
Yes, handwriting is part of ABC Boot Camp. It's an explicit instruction on how to form the letters as part of ABC Boot Camp. So I model it, we practice it, and then they go and they actually do some independent practice with it as well. And then we work on it informally throughout the rest of the year, especially if I see somebody struggling with letters, or if I notice the whole class might be struggling with a certain letter, we'll work on it. But it's done very explicitly during ABC Boot Camp.
And speaking of ABC Boot Camp, Mary wants to know if you have 1 or 2 students that need extra help, can you use ABC Boot Camp with them and just do a letter a day when you meet with just them, and do other activities in your reading groups? Oh,
absolutely. And we see ABC Boot Camp being used as an intervention piece a lot. We'll actually see a lot of people start using it in January as part of their intervention for their kids. So it can absolutely be used in a small group setting. There's even a student journal in there where they can do their own circle maps, which is works very, very well for small group instruction. So it can absolutely work for those 1 or 2 kids who need that extra help.
Are you big on making sure the students write within the lines?
I am not, and this is something that I've kind of let go of the past couple of years. So ABC Boot Camp, if you use it, you know that it has the lines, the 2 solid lines and the dotted line in the middle. But that's the only time I use that in my classroom. The reason being, number one, I think those lines can be very visually cluttering for the kids, and it can be confusing with all of those lines. The other reason is, as adults, we don't write with those lines. I mean, when you sit down to write something, you don't have 2 solid lines and a dotted line in the middle to write on. We're used to writing on single lines. So that's what I do with my kids. So ABC Boot Camp, we have the lines, but after that, I only use single lines. So if we're doing writer's workshop, in our research projects, you're going to see those single lines. and the kids do just fine with it.
So just so everyone is aware, the entries for tonight's giveaways has closed. So you cannot enter to win tonight's giveaways. It closed just now at 7:45. So we'll do those drawings here in just a couple of minutes, but I wanted to let everyone know someone actually just asked where they go to enter, and you can't enter now. So we'll do the drawing in just a couple minutes. Next question is from Carolyn. When do you start guided reading in the year?
We start centers the second week of school. And then usually I give them about 2 weeks of centers before I start trying to pull groups. So about 4 or 5 weeks into the school year, I'll start to pull some small groups, not necessarily guided reading, but pulling small groups, getting them used to coming to the table, working with me for a few minutes, going back to their centers. And then, 6, 7 weeks into the school year, we'll start some guided reading. Even if it's with, picture books with no words, or just one-word emergent readers. I have a set of one-word emergent readers in our store that I use at the beginning of the year, which are phenomenal for the kids. And it's really all about putting books in their hands. So they may not have books with words or lots of words, but they have books in their hands. And that already, from very early in the year, we're building that love of reading and that excitement of having a book in your hand.
This question's from Liberty. How much time do you give guided reading?
10 to 15 minutes, depending on the group and depending on the day and the time of year. So early in the year, we stick to close to that 10 minutes. And we progressively move up to 15 minutes.
From Debbie. She says she gives lots of bathroom breaks. As soon as we come to the carpet, they have to go or get up to blow their nose. I want them to be able to get up and get a Kleenex, but do you have some suggestions?
My only rule, because here's the thing. Number one, they're 5. And if we don't let them go, we know what's going to happen. They're going to go on the carpet. Or they're going to go number 2 and not tell you for hours, and that's a whole other story. Or they're going to sneeze and blow snot everywhere. And so my only rule about it is if I'm reading you a story or if I'm teaching you something, you have to wait. That might mean 5 minutes. But then again, you know the kids, and if you know somebody's got to go, I let them go. So as long as I'm not really hard in the middle of a lesson or reading a story, they can get up and go pee, do whatever they need to do, blow their nose. I have one this year that he sneezes every 5 minutes, and a snot rocket comes out. And so from day one, he's been like, he knows as soon as he sneezes, those hands go up, and he goes and gets a tissue. And I have tried so hard to teach him to put tissue in his pocket. I'm like, dude, just fill your pocket with tissue. So when that happens, you're good. He doesn't get it. So I say let them go. I would rather them go and not have accidents and not being uncomfortable. And we know what it's like to not be able to go when we're, for hours. So no, I say let them go.
From Ben, what is your favorite holiday book?
So this is not a kindergarten appropriate book at all, but my personal favorite holiday book is The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. Like, I cannot read that book without, I remember when I taught 5th grade, I read it to my 5th graders, and I would laugh so hard I was crying. It's the best holiday book ever. So you have to read it. Even if you just read it for yourself, because it's really not, I don't think, kindergarten appropriate. It might be, but you just have to read it if you haven't. So that's my favorite. Some of my other ones, How Santa Got His Job is a good one. Mistletoe is one of my personal favorites. I don't know, Dana, you were the librarian. Do you have any good holiday books?
Santa's New Suit, where he goes and tries on different
That's
suits,
a good one.
crazy patterns. It's good.
Okay. Aliens Love Santa Claus. Of course, they're going to love that one because there's underwear involved. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, of course.
Sarah wants to know if you create parent gifts. If so, what do you create with the kids?
So we always do a plate. It's a handprint plate. I think there's a blog post about it. We buy plates at the Dollar Tree, so it's going to cost me about $20. Some acrylic paint, The kids put their handprint on the plate. We write their name and the year, and then we spray it with a clear sealer, and that's the parent gift. So it's very, very easy, very cheap, but has that handprint on it, so the parents love it. For Mother's Day, we did it a little differently. We did ceramic tile with their handprint on it, so you could do that also.
From Valerie, she says that she has 3 students that know less than 5 letters and sight words. Would you just pull them for support with these skills or start books and guided reading with them?
I would do both. I would definitely work with them on those skills, but definitely go ahead and start reading some books with them. And it might be one-word emergent readers, or it might be wordless books, but definitely start using books with them. And you could use the books to find the sight words and to find the letters and to work on your sounds. So absolutely start to incorporate some books with them. Still do some explicit teaching with those skills, but definitely incorporate the books.
We have 2 questions left. This one's from Debbie. Do you have a safe spot in your classroom for kids to go to calm down?
We do. We call it take a break. And so we have a pineapple rug by the door, and that's the take a break spot. So if they need to take a break, or if I need to send them to take a break, they just go sit on the pineapple for a few minutes.
And the last question is from Karen. In your opinion, what should we ask Santa to bring us for Christmas?
Us as in teachers?
Teachers, yes.
Oh gosh.
Basically, like, what's something that teachers really, really need? What should they ask?
a shirt like this from Vinyl by Dana. I know what I want to say, but I don't want anyone to take it the wrong way. You know, what we should ask Santa for is to be treated as the professionals that we are, and be allowed to teach our kids like the professionals that we are. We are professionals. We are trained and educated, and this is the career that we chose, and we're passionate about what we do. We want nothing but the best for our kids. And so I think what Santa should bring all of us is that people get out of our way and let us do our job and let us teach our kids. And I think if we were allowed to teach our kids, I think all of the test scores and all of the data and everything that people get caught up on would skyrocket. And so I hope what Santa brings all of us this year is that we are simply allowed to do our jobs, because we are amazing at our jobs. And we give our heart and our soul, and we give our lives to our jobs and to our kids. And so if we were allowed to teach our kids, then I think our schools would be even more amazing than they already are. Test scores would skyrocket, and our kids would be happy and successful and very well educated. So that's what I hope Santa brings us, is that you are allowed to teach.
That's a good one.
I have lots of other things I would like to say, but I probably shouldn't. But I think that's what we need more than anything right now.
So I said that was the last question, but we have a very special person here that has a question.
Uh-oh.
And it's from Xavier.
Oh, hi, Xavier.
He wants to know if you still watch the Magic School Bus with the students this year.
Absolutely. Of course we do. Every Friday afternoon after Foodie Fun Friday, we watch Magic School Bus. Maybe you can come visit sometime, Xavier, and watch it with us. Xavier also got a new haircut, which looks very, very good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he got all of his hair cut off.
Really?
Yes. So it's
Oh, wow.
it's a totally different look, but it looks good.
I haven't been to the school in a little while. I have to come and say hi.
But Xavier, we only watch the original Magic School Bus. We don't watch the new one. It's not good.
All right, we ready to do some
Let's
giveaways?
give away some prizes.
All right, what do we want to do first? Do you want to do ESGI first?
Yeah.
Okay. So remember, to be eligible to win, you have to be live in the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and type in here right now, because sometimes the chat is a little bit behind, or the video is a little bit behind the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and type right now to let everyone know to be listening for their names. While I'm doing that and pulling the winners, Greg, will you tell everyone a little bit about ESGI, how they can get their free trial, and how?
So ESGI is an online assessment tool. It's esgisoftware.com. It's a one-on-one assessment system. It's simply yes/no questions. There are hundreds of tests already available for every standard, every skill that we teach. You can create your own assessments. My assessments are available for you to use. So all of the boot camp curriculum assessments are there. I can assess my kids, all of their report card standards, all 21 kids in one day and be done with ESGI. So it'll save you tons of time. It makes data and assessments easy. It makes communicating with parents easy. The kids love it. Like I said earlier, it is my #1 must-have in the classroom. So you can go to esgisoftware.com. You can use the code Smorgie to sign up for your 60-day free trial. And the same code Smorgie will also save you $40 off of your subscription. So check it out. It's esgisoftware.com. And like I said, once you try that free trial, you're going to be hooked. It is phenomenal. It's the best piece of technology we use in our classroom just because it makes my job so much easier.
All right, so here are the winners. If you have already won, or if you already have ESGI, feel free to gift it to a friend. So tonight's winner is Sarah Bowes and Jessica Dearth, D-E-A-R-T-H. Is that Darth or Dearth? I don't know. Sarah Bowes and Jessica Dearth. You have won a 1-year subscription to ESGI. I need you to type here in the chat if you're here.
Congratulations to Sarah and Jessica. So if you guys are here, Sarah Bowes.
Sarah.
Yay, Sarah, congratulations. So now we're waiting for Jessica Dearth.
Oh, it's hey, Jesse. Got it.
All right, wait, congratulations.
I'm glad hey, Jesse won. Now we know hey, Jesse's name.
I love that name.
Jessica Dearth.
And that's the fastest we've ever found the winners.
It really is. Wow. Okay, so next are going to be 2 t-shirts from Vinyl.
Come on, Dana. You got to come say hi. Just so y'all know Dana's really here with us. There's Dana.
Really here.
So see, we have on our matching shirts. And so somebody's going to win one of these elf shirts, and then the other one is just a custom, or are they both just? Okay, two elf shirts. And so if you don't win, you can find Dana on Instagram and Facebook. It's Vinyl by Dana, and so you can order your elf shirt, or you can order all kinds of good shirts. So she does a lot of my shirts and tractor decals. And
if you're the winner, we will contact you by email. Dana will contact you by email, yes, and set up all the logistics.
Yep.
So tonight's winners are, and I don't have the drum roll, and everyone wants to hear the turkey drum roll. So the winner is Amy Lesner and Courtney Clemens. Amy Lesner and Courtney Clemens. Everyone asked for it, so I had to give it.
It's perfect for Thanksgiving.
If you're here, type yes, or actually type here in the chat. Amy Lesner and Courtney Clemens, are you here? Type here in the chat. Courtney's here. Congratulations,
Courtney.
Amy Lesner. Amy Lesner, are you here?
Amy, you want an elf shirt? You want an elf shirt, Lulu? You want an elf shirt? You want it?
All right, Amy. Gonna have to draw another name. Give her just a second to see chat. Looking for Amy Lesner. I got Courtney Clemens. Courtney, I got you. We'll be in contact. All right, so Amy's not here. We're gonna move on. How about Catherine? No last name, but your email address is Stanton C. Catherine, are you here? Catherine, if you're here, please type here in the chat.
I'm going to guess it's probably Catherine Stanton, since that's her email.
Probably.
So what was it? Stanton C is your email. So Catherine, if your email is Stanton C, you want an elf shirt from Vinyl by Dana.
You must type here in the chat to claim your prize. You have 30 seconds. Catherine? Catherine Stanton.
Harris. Bueller. Bueller.
Catherine. Where'd everybody go? There's 99 people watching. All right, moving on.
Third time's a charm.
Marissa. Marissa Canaroni. Marissa Canaroni. If you're here, please type here in the chat. You have won a free t-shirt from Vinyl by Dana. What is Dana's Facebook information? Vinyl by Dana, correct?
Yeah, you can just search for Vinyl by Dana. Same as also on Instagram.
All right, we are moving on. Marissa is not here, apparently. Betty Culp.
I know Betty's here.
Betty Culp, are you still here? Betty Culp.
I
Betty, I hope you didn't leave. I know she was here earlier. Yep, she's here.
Yay, congratulations,
Hey,
Betty.
congrats, all right, so we will be in touch with all of tonight's winners to let you know what to do to claim your prize. Again, if you've already won or if you already have ESGI, you can gift that to a teammate or a friend. And if you don't have a teammate or a friend that you know that wants to use it, just let us know that, and we'll gift it to someone else.
Yep.
All right.
Do you want to give them the code again for Black Friday?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So we announced earlier that starting right now, between now and Friday at midnight, we are giving you a 40% discount on every creation within the TKS online store. This is not valid on Teachers Pay Teachers. It's only valid in the TKS store. And the code is early. I want to make sure I say it right. If you guys could have seen my face, you would know why I was laughing. Early BFS 2017. So the best way to remember it is early Black Friday sale 2017. Early BFS 2017. You're going to enter that at checkout. That will give you 40% off your entire purchase. That is not valid on t-shirts, and it is not valid on Teachers Pay Teachers. So again, that is valid through Friday at midnight.
All right.
And I'll type it in the chat for those of you that weren't able to write it down.
All right, so that's it. So thanks, guys, for watching. I know it's a busy time, so thank you to all of you who took time out. And for those of you who watch the replay later on YouTube, thanks for watching. I hope everyone has a fantastic Thanksgiving.
Xavier went to see the dogs. Is Lulu still here?
Yeah. Lulu, come here. Lulu, come here. Come here. Come here. Hi to Xavier. Say hi, Xavier. Say hi, Xavier. Here, Lulu. Say hi. There you go. Sorry, baby girl. So I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat lots of food, get lots of rest. And as always, thank you for watching, and thank you for all that you do every day in your classrooms for your students and for giving them the best education possible. We will see you all next month for the 3rd anniversary celebration of Submissions for Smorgie Live. So everybody have a great night. Bye, everybody.